A strange creature named Deck sitting in a ship that is unknowingly landing on an unknown planet. Deck was still getting fully ready. At that moment, a large flying bird attacked his ship, which caused Deck. After rising, Deck gathered all his weapons in one place and started preparing himself. At the same time, Deck felt that someone was behind him secretly watching him, but from behind, the roots of the trees in the same forest attacked him. Deck started fighting those roots with his powerful sword. One root grabbed his leg and began pulling him towards itself. At that moment, Deck attacked with his advanced bow and the root released him but then attacked again. But Deck also gave his all to save his life. He cut one root into two pieces, when Deck thought that it would not be possible to continue because many roots were growing continuously. This entire planet is filled with dangers. There are various kinds of animals, but the more dangerous thing is what kind of animals and monsters Deck will have to face. And the biggest question is what exactly Deck is doing on this unknown. This whole story shifts into a flashback. It shows a strange planet where Deck is angrily going to fight his brother. Because there is a rule here that any warrior who is defeated will not be respected, and their intense fight began. Both were determined to defeat each other. Then Deck's brother hit him and threw him into a pit, but despite many efforts, Deck lost. Here Deck's brother said, "You are a warrior, and he must bring himself back here to his father's planet. If he does so, he will be considered strong and powerful in the eyes of his father and the entire planet along with his brother." At that moment, their father came to them. He ordered his younger son Deck to dominate, but Deck's brother told their father that he should also be given a chance to hunt. At the same time, Deck's father captured Deck on the ground using his strange gadget. Actually, domination meant erasing the existence of the loser, that is, killing him. Deck's brother could not break his father's rule. That's why he started cutting his brother Deck with his sword. But Deck's brother suddenly. Since brothers are brothers, Deck's brother turned against their father and immediately sent Deck's spaceship to log him out and started fighting their father, both father and son. The father of Quay cut off his own son's hand because their only rule was that whoever disobeyed their laws must die. Seeing this happen, Deck inside the ship became very angry with his father because the entire planet left and went up into space because the ship was on autopilot. It showed Deck's ship floating in space, passing through large stones to land on an unknown planet. His ship was damaged. Here we fully understood why and how his landing happened on this unknown planet. As soon as he landed, the anger on his face proved that he had seen his older brother killed by their father. In that anger, he fought monsters and trees in the whole forest, and now he only had one sword left which he still possessed. Because during the fight all his weapons got stuck among those roots. They were all determined to kill each other, so Deck cautiously started moving forward, but during that time he met a girl who was stuck in the corner of a tree. At that moment, that creature. The wounds burst out after hearing the call. These were plants that would kill anyone who got caught by them. Deck started running fast, but because there were many, Deck could not escape from them and therefore Deck took out a small weapon from his hand and threw it at them and fell to the ground because the poison had started to pierce his body. At that moment, the flying creature was about to attack Deck. At the right time, the girl, which made Deck start recovering. As he regained consciousness, Deck saw that the girl who saved his life was not a girl but a robot who was not from this planet. Actually, she was also stuck on this planet for some reason, Deck found out. And he had to return to his planet. So Thea made a deal to take him to Kaliska. Actually, she knew where Kaliska would be because Thea could not walk without legs, and Deck was completely unaware of this dangerous planet. But while escaping, their journey continued. Moving forward, their journey got stuck at a place where glass-like plants were growing like crops in the fields. In that field, many strange animals were eating that glass-like grass. This is Kaliska's tasty food, and if you want to kill Kaliska, you have to kill it and put its meat in front of him. At that moment, a strange creature appeared that looked exactly like an innocent child, but it was not at all. That Bon Bison was saving, so he starts fighting with Deck and grabs Deck by the neck. Then Thea sees a very big danger in front of her which scares her because Bon Bison is coming towards them very fast. One more robot of Thea's team was brought to the lab whose face had many scratch marks. Some machines went into its ears and reactivated it, and its face was restored as before. It regained consciousness. Actually, Thea was Tessa's sister and their mission was also from this planet. But due to a major accident, their mission failed. Now since Tessa had been reactivated, this time her mission was to capture Thea and Yatcha. So they all end the game by killing and burning the roots one by one. Meanwhile, as soon as Bon Bison dies, a large creature attacks Deck and traps him with tentacles coming out of its mouth. Deck thought this was the Kalisk, but Thea did not. As soon as it put both of them inside its mouth and started chewing, at that time an innocent small creature came and bit Luna Bug's teeth, causing Luna Bug's teeth to break like wood and letting Deck go. But it was still not defeated. Here Deck used his brain, cut down a big tree and climbed on it for support. But this time Luna Bug jumped with all 3 legs and caught the innocent creature, and as soon as it was about to eat it. Now since Deck was from another planet, Tessa seemed very pleased with his weapons and something else started running in her mind. During the journey it got dark, so the 3 stopped at a place to rest. He kept helping the creature. In the morning, Thea seemed very upset because Deck had removed the Elder from their team. That is, where they had slept the previous night, he left it there. Now Thea and Deck were on that. And would ruin their mission here. But here Deck learned from Thea that Thea had already sent the location of her people, that is Tessa, to the company, informing them that Yatcha was present here. Hearing this, Deck got angry. But here Deck set fire to the spilled fuel and caused a big blast. Now due to the smoke, a very big creature fell in front of Deck. This time this creature looked much more dangerous than all previous creatures. As soon as it snapped, its punch started regenerating. It grabbed Deck and threw him straight onto Thea, causing his reattached leg to get separated again. Angry, Thea attacked the big creature with a gun. At the same time. But now the creature got very angry and caught her, and just as it was about to eat her, it started smelling something from Deck's body. At that moment, Tessa came, threw a bomb and froze both the creature and Deck. Tessa started scanning his brain with her advanced machine. After scanning, Tessa told Deck that from now on he was the property of Well and Yutani Corporation. Saying this, she began tampering with his brain. Actually, she wanted to use Deck's brain for her benefit, believing that if she killed him and took out his body parts, he could play a role in her plans. That's why she tortured him even more until Thea intervened. Now since except for Thea no soldiers inside this machine knew about it, Thea freed Deck before they arrived in a hurry, and taking advantage of this, he escaped from here. All the soldiers started shooting him. Meanwhile, Well and Yutani Corporation was shown, where Thea was deactivated and locked in a box. That same night, Deck went straight to his crashed ship where he was very upset about his brother's death. And the 3-legged creature that was now dead had its tooth pulled out. Not only that, but it controlled the Blastrity plant from which it barely escaped death so that it could bring it along for future tasks, and during its journey the CR. At the same time, a bear appeared before him. Seeing him emotionally seated, it spits on him. Spitting on him meant that it had started liking him because Thea had told him everything about the bear. And the last T. First, Deck freed Thea's leg, which was trapped under the rubble, and then moved towards the Wayland Yutani Corporation. First, he put all the robot soldiers to death one by one and Thea's leg. As soon as Thea's leg came near Thea, many soldiers arrived there and a fierce fight broke out among them. Just as a soldier was about to kill Thea, Thea's leg killed him instantly. And she is a little girl. Deck's mission was to completely eliminate Kalisk. So he made himself bait for many soldiers, but none of those soldiers knew that Deck had already set a trap for them. Here, as soon as Tessa tried to shoot him to kill, the loyal creature baited by Deck sacrificed itself and saved Deck's life. Seeing his companion dying, Deck lost his mind and immediately started fighting Tessa. In anger, Tessa tried to cut Deck with her machine, but he escaped. At that moment, the same creature whom Tessa had frozen some time ago freed itself and attacked them, and now a fierce fight began between the two. In anger, Tessa destroyed the whole machine and immediately ate Tessa. After calming down, Deck realized that the bear who was the little girl was none other than the daughter of this big creature, and the creature we so far called Yan. Just as Deck was starting to understand Kalisk's emotions, something began happening inside Kalisk, and it started freezing from inside. Suddenly, it exploded and burst, and the bear's mom, that is Kalisk's and was killed. Seeing this, the bear started crying a lot because a moment ago she had seen her mom with her own eyes, but now she saw her mom in this condition. Meanwhile, Thea saw Tessa. She was about to shoot and kill her, but before that, Deck attacked from behind and ended her story, and the bear happily celebrated by pulling out her head. In the last scene of the movie, it was shown that Deck repaired his spaceship, and Gry had now become much more advanced than before, so he easily defeated both Yacha and immediately started fighting his father. While fighting, Deck injured his father's leg, but his father was about to disappear. Meaning he had seen his closest brother dying, and just as his brother's hand was cut off, Deck cut off his father's hand in the same way, and this time he captured him just like they had made him, and now here removed the armor from his father's face, whom we saw with much anger and pain, and at the same time a big creature came and ate Deck's father's head. Actually, it was none other than the bear who had now grown up. Her fath took up their swords and stood ready, while on the other side Deck's mom also arrived with her ship and army very angrily, meaning here what happened was the story is not over yet, the real battle is about to begin, and here his mom was Jiv.